That was a good answer. That was a really solid. That's why I like you. That's why you're my analyst. Very good at explaining what peons like me maybe cannot.
Peons, work. Yeah, the panel had a pretty good read on that the lineups are not going to be as easily killed. One thing I'm hyped about is always Disruptor with Kunkka. When they play against each other, oh, Planet, we'll hold that thought. He's thinking whether he needs a toss back, whether he needs Avalanche. Tiny's toss has been buffed. Flight duration has been decreased in the recent patch from 1.4 seconds to 1.25. But to go back to my point, you can X somebody who is getting glimpse and then you pull them back. So that could be very handy in a lot of these situations.
Definitely. Could be handy if they pull it off. 2 bounty runes apiece. As Innocence picks up one, Shiro, Pure, save the others. What lane out of these 3 is really going to be the one sticking out the most?
I could see Disruptor potentially dying in this lane. I don't think they're going to be able to put too much pressure with Medusa and Disruptor. Centaur doesn't like to play into double-ranged heroes, so there's going to be a good amount of harassment. I already see that Miro wants to pick up Vanguard, which he's going to turn into Crimson Guard later on. You are playing against Medusa, so this is the item that you want to have. I'd say the most interesting matchup is going to be the one in the mid lane, because it is Queen of Pain against Kunkka, against the melee hero. Kunkka does good against most of these range heroes with a good amount of harassment. Nothing to say, starting with Shadow Strike, usually you do see Scream of Pain just to secure into range creep and deal some of the extra damage. But he started with Shadow Strike, wanted to put slightly more pressure onto GPK.
Got quickly into level 2, so was able to pick up that Scream of Pain. See how much damage he's able to do on a GPK. When it comes to supports rotating towards mid to help out, it seems as though BetBoom have the better supports.
Yeah, Queen of Pain doesn't care too much about these supports rotating unless she misuses the blink. Sure, you can X her and then maybe try to go for a play, but you can blink out of the Sprout, you can blink away from the Batrider, so not the best. Like, this is why Queen of Pain is also super strong in the mid lane.
Shiro, he is getting really low. Does survive with that wand, but man, that is close for this Medusa.
Why gave him Mango as well. One thing I noticed when Miero plays Centaur, if he feels that this lane could get them kills, he's gonna put a point in Double Edge immediately, sometimes even a second point, and this should be the kill here.
Yeah. They just went right again, and maybe Y gets this kill on the save. But the Double Edges are coming, and so is the Nature's Prophet. Blood Grenade on the run, but eventually that Sprout will get the kill.
So he TPs in, gives Miero Tango at least, because he did get that kill. Very good start here for BetBoom Team.
Yeah, happy with the lanes, getting the kill on a Shiro, slow down the Medusa. Definitely feels like another one of those slower paced games from China, though.
Queen of Pain needs to be active. Medusa, you're pretty much playing 4v5 until she feels ready, depending whether that's like 2 items. We also need to see which item build he's going to be going for this time around. Planet, position for Tiny. Not the killer lane for them by any means. Maybe they can get tossed back under the tower, but some of the damage definitely is lacking. You're playing 2 melee into Lifestealer, even into Nature's Prophet. Let's see, toss, and he manages to actually get the Lotus. It's just enough time.
Good enough to get that Lotus, which is pretty nice. The Bristleback getting changed a little bit with the viscous nasal goo.
He got nerfed a couple of times in a row. Still feels like a strong hero.
And just lowering that duration by a second. And then the Snot Rocket Facet also taking a little bit of a nerf. Losing that armor loss per stack. But still thinks it's good enough.
Ooh, man, I'm checking the win rate of Lifestealer. It's not great.
You don't have the sign.
What is it, like 15?
It's like 16%.
Oh, I didn't think I was going to be that close. X on nothing to say. And the Nature's Prophet comes over. Well, fainted coming over. Thought about making the full TP in. Bach constantly eating harassment right now from Pure. Not really a killer lane, like you said, for Tidebound. And Kethomi, he's going to be free to move around wherever he really wants to. But he gets tossed up into the air, and Bach's putting some damage on the Kethomi. They still have that avalanche, and these quills, they'll start to stack up, and they've got the right-click damage from Bach to take out the Nature's Prophet. So staying might have actually been more hurtful for the Nature's Prophet overall.
A bit out of position there. One downside of having position for Tiny is that he can't stack the triangle. He can't stack both of the camps, especially if you don't start with the tree grab, which most of the Tinies as a position 4s don't do. Katomi making a move. Shiro.
In trouble again.
No mana, no life.
Do anything for him, but Kataomi gets the kill with 3 heroes here. And Innocence now, he's on the run, but he is sticky and on fire. 12 stacks, Kataomi coming again to get that sprout. And eventually, Y will die. And this is definitely a lane that can stay aggressive, especially with the help of this Nature's Prophet.
Centaur's fine in this lane. Like, he does have Vanguard at 5.5 minutes. Planet making a move. GPK, his ROM is procced. From
Avalanche
the 4.
hit 3 heroes. Blood Grenade, GPK, Planet. He's taking a lot of damage
they
here.
deny
GPK,
him, maybe?
He'll end up dead. And nothing to say. Burning, and one more right click from Kataomi. Now the look over at Planet. And he's under the tier 1 tower, but he's dead too.
Y's also dead.
Yeah,
Let's see, Kataomi, can they switch the aggro from the tower? Yes, they can.
Oh, he's gonna survive.
Y burning, but not enough.
Oh, so does Y.
He tried with the Sprout. Maybe he's gonna be there. Y plants an Observer Ward, gets the glimpse.
Him with the glimpse.
Nice play.
What a play.
And immediately starts denying his Observer Ward. That's gonna take a while. 5 hits.
Clip it, because I don't know how Y survived getting dove by 2 of those heroes. And then not only does he survive both those heroes right on top of him, but he kills them both.
He's level 5. 6 minutes 40. Position 5 being level 5. This is pretty impressive. Let's see how Bristleback is doing. He does have slightly more XP than Y, so won't be getting that XP if they pick it up.
Cannot believe he survived, but this is giving Bach some space to be alone. And honestly, the Radiant side, though, all 3 at the top are top CS, and it's not really even that close of a margin. They're all leading their counterpart by about 10 CS. Pure's down here alone, 47 and 16. He's not really going to get bothered in this lane, and now they see a stack that they could potentially swipe. Y doesn't have a lot of health remaining, and they can bring Miero over to help.
I think Save should probably drag the creep wave unless Miero wants to go for something different. He could drag the creep wave into the stack that they just made and get extra bit of a gold. But seems like they know something's cooking, and let's see how they're gonna approach this. Disruptor's still level 5, but maybe with a rotation from Planet or Queen of Pain, who does have Sonic Wave, they could get something done.
GPK's coming through. Probably want to defend Miero. They got the stack.
They're stealing
elsewhere,
they're taking the XP. They're just leeching.
They'll steal the XP, but do they go from Miero at any point? He's pretty tanky. Save's also here. It's not the complete stack stolen, but it's enough for Miero to be happy with it, especially getting the creep wave.
Save's gonna give him healing salve even. Half of the value, but still, we'll put him almost a full HP. With these 3 heroes, they can't really kill him unless there's a 4th hero showing up. So Bristleback probably not gonna be that one because he doesn't have much mana to work with. This is the power of a Centaur when he's off to a really good start.
He's really hoping to get Chip Vest for the Centaur.
Yeah, if you get Chippy on Centaur with Blade Mail, with Retaliate, it is an insane amount of damage. Like, you're playing against Quap, who does good amount of right clicks. Medusa is going to be the one, of course, dealing the most physical damage.
Only a 1,000 net worth lead. BetBoom, I will say, coming into this series, haven't played the cleanest Dota.
No, they looked very sloppy, especially in the series that they played yesterday. 3 games of Lina. Seems like they are staying away from Lina, at least in this one, because I want to see also Pure on something different. He didn't look too comfortable playing Lina.
No, not at all. Bot going after Ketomi. And they've got the glimpse into the kinetic field. Avalanche lands on it too. But here comes GPK. They'll even stampede. They'll land the torrent onto both these heroes. Ghost Ship flies in, and Planet's gonna die. Bot's now in trouble, but nothing to say is in with a Sonic Wave. Static Storm plays down, but Bot's still running away, trying to get away from this Kunkka. They'll have the Bat Rider to throw a Flame Break if he TP's in time, but it is a long
Hangover
TP.
is kicking in. Infest will need to save him. He needed 1 cleave, but why? Running in completely different direction.
Doesn't have Blink for 6 seconds. Nothing to say he's gonna die. Long time waiting for that Blink.
Only 1 point in Blink. This is what happens when you want to dominate the lane. 3 points in Shadow Strike. Then you also want to max out your Scream to have extra bit of a damage. And speaking of Chippy, he also did pick up the neutral item on Queen of Pain, because he's going to be building into Blade Mail and will be life-stealing off of the pure damage. This is the slightly newer tech. I think we've seen it in the previous 2 tournaments, that people are willing to instead skip the Masochist facet, skip the Dagon, and just go for Blade Mail, Kaya Sanj, BKB, start to scale in a different direction. But it gives you so much survivability in the fights, and we can see the timing on this Blade Mail on Centaur. Like, how do you kill this guy? Benjamin, if you had to kill this guy right now, how many do you bring?
7.
7.
You didn't ask me what. How many do I bring? 7.
Well, 7 what?
I don't have. I don't have that answer.
It is pretty difficult, especially if there's a Stampede. Sure, you have Glimpse, 2 points in Glimpse, you have Kinetic Field, so you can keep him inside, but things are going to become much more difficult. I love when Miero goes for like double Aura, when he's going for Pipe Crimson, but this time around, seeing that they don't have ways to initiate a team fight, your Lifestealer is not doing much, save until he gets a Blink Dagger. It's going to take a little while, so can't really blame him that he wants to pick up a Blink Dagger of his own, basically as his 2/3 item.
Another Static Storm, but it's not going to get anything. Do they just re-engage without it? That's the question. Thinking about wanting to go back in, but
I like
I don't really think they'll have an opportunity.
what he's doing on Lifestealer, infesting this Ancient Black Dragon, and we saw that yesterday or 2 days ago. Like, most of the Lifestealers did play with the Gore Storm facet. It does allow you to deal the damage. Like, he's stacking the creeps for himself in the bottom part. He's almost level 10 on Lifestealer.
He's really, really farmed working on this Radiance. Just a free lane. They've tried to come down here bottom a couple times, and they haven't been able to do anything with success. He's super farmed, but so is Miero, who has got so much. He's got Blink just about, which will lead to Blink, Blade Mail, Vanguard 13 minutes into the game.
Yeah, a bit too much. It's coming on the courier. Let's see if they're going to be able to find anything on the map with this Blink Dagger. They have Kunkka. GPK did a very good rotation to the bottom lane. Landed that 2-man Torrent, landed 2-man Ghost Ship. Miero TP's to the mid.
TP, yeah. Who can they find? Might be Planet. Do you rely completely just on the Medusa to bring you back into the game? This glimpse may help. Kinetic field, but Kethomi behind him. Sprout used. They've got the X. Glimpse not going to do enough. Still smoked on the Bat Rider. Now smoking up this Kunkka. Looking for another +1. And if Planet shows, he might just get blinked on and killed too. It's exactly what they go for. Blink, Flame Break with the Hoof Stomp into a lasso. Nothing to say, can only watch on as he'll lose that Tiny. They'll even stampede GPK away from that tier 2 tower. They'll find themselves Bach, and Pure, he's ready to just whack away at this Bristleback. Ghost Ship comes in, they'll pull him back with the X. Sonic Wave doesn't do enough, and now they've got another on BetBoom. I mean, they are just running at these heroes on the side of Tidebound, and they don't really have much care for how deep they go.
This is the BetBoom, the aggressive team that we're used to seeing. So far, they haven't had the greatest tournament, and we can look at some of the stacks as well. 15 on one side, 14 on the other side. And this allows you to get to an earlier Radiance timing. This Gore Storm, you get out of it, you're still going to be dealing a good amount of damage. You deal 30% of the damage of the remaining HP, and you're slowing them down, I believe, as well. No slow, never mind. So just dealing that damage, which is going to give you a relatively good timing on Radiance. I think Lifestealer has the same issue as Carry Abaddon, where you're building into pretty much same items. A lot of the times you see Phase Boots, Magic Wand, try to maybe get an item in between. Abaddon needs Null Talisman, Lifestealer doesn't need that, but also Orb of Corrosion, and then you're having trouble farming the Radiance, but after you get the Radiance, your net worth does skyrocket.
Another kill for Tidebound, but it's just on the save. Finally being able to maintain and control a hero here. This is going to be an attempt to get the 2-1 tower. Bach feels, honestly, pretty squishy as a Bristleback.
Playing into double Blade Mail. I mean, this is not green. This is green Bristleback, so you're not dealing as much damage when you turn around. Instead of shooting quills, you are shooting minus armor, so that's not gonna kill you. But still, you gotta be careful. And they do have some really nice. I mean, you have Lifestealer first of all. There's Spirit Vessel now done on Kataomi. No Dispel yet. Centaur with a Blink Dagger can easily try to set things up.
13 picks, not many wins, only 4. Hasn't been the best of times for Bristleback.
He had his time, okay? This hero has been first picked for a good 6 months now.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind him kind of falling out of favor in terms of the meta. It's like when people say, where's PA? PA was just in the meta for like 2 years.
Yeah, where's Necrophos? Like, this guy is missing in action. Where's Skyrat Mage?
Let's have some other heroes have a chance at being in the forefront of everybody's eyes.
Where's Viper? Luna. We saw some Luna during Dream League, but it wasn't the most successful hero.
No.
Wizzarizzy. I missed that one.
One of their heroes. We're missing some. Yeah. Phantom Lancer hasn't been a hero for years.
Wizzarizzy might come back. There was a post on Reddit saying that you can kill Tormentor with level 2 ulti without even getting there, so just with the summons.
Huh?
Probably related to the change that did happen in the latest patch, that Tormentor Reflect no longer considers creep heroes for the damage reflected. We might have forgotten about that one.
Infest into the Black Dragon. Farm pretty well with this. And get that splash damage and have that fireball. But the more time that goes by, the more this Medusa gets a little bit scary. You know, Pure's had a great game.
They can't do anything to him. They can't glimpse him.
Right through the revolving door. They saw him going the other way, and they went right through. Well, that ends up being a bit of a miss. But this Medusa now top of the net worth. And that can be a big issue. It's 4,000 net worth lead, but does Medusa give you enough from this high on the net worth chart to bring you back into the game? Bach trying to just grab a tower, has Y nearby. Kathomi, he's going to get glimpsed away. Static Storm, Ghost Ship, but it's just this Bristle does not feel survivable. They do get Kathomi, though. Nothing to say he's going to get that kill, and that's an assist off the glimpse.
I guess they caught him when he was steeping out. Did use that Spirit Vessel. Still managed to get a good trade overall, but Medusa is farming. She is farming real nicely on pair with Lifestealer. And going into that build that we said that this time around, it's going to be overall a much better build for them.
Interesting. Nothing to say has been caught. Lasso's there, and what happened to Planet? He like pressed Avalanche, looking like he was gonna blink Avalanche, and just avalanched. I wonder if right as he was about to do it, got hit by that radiance and maybe he couldn't blink.
Maybe. I was looking at the different screen, but I also saw very good execution from BetBoom Team. That Stampede getting saved close to the fight into the...
Oh, Planet.
Okay, he's just straight up gonna die. That Flame Break into Lasso combo. They don't have the most burst damage on BetBoom Team, so Medusa eventually will be able to use ulti, reset, choose where they want to take the fight, but they can kill the other heroes. Like this is Kunkka with SNY as his first/second item, if you consider Blade Mail to be one of those. And going into SNY, we saw different builds from the mid Kunkka. Like going for Radiance if necessary, sometimes double Radiance also feels good. But this time around, seems like he wants to have extra bit of a damage. Might upgrade that as well later on into Break. Might get Silver Edge against Bristleback. Could come in handy.
Definitely could come in handy. Could go for the Tormentor. This is going to give them a shard, and, well, this is going to have Lifestealer at just a bit needed for that point booster, I believe, to get that Aghanim Scepter.
He was toying with the idea of going back for the Armlet, which is something that has been done before. Like, not a lot of people do choose to get Armlet. Oh, he blinked in aggressively. Nothing to say.
Very dead. BetBoom Team just playing it pretty calm, getting these kills. Up 8,000 net worth. They're looking for more. They didn't lasso. They have it available. They've got the Blink Dagger ready to go. They have multiple initiators on this side. How do you tighten up here for Tidebound? Planet might be dead again. He's all the way where he just died. He's so far in, and that observer word timing out in just a second. Just surprised at Planet playing so far and getting killed twice in the same spot.
They don't have many plays that they can make around the map. Everything is super tanky. And let's see how they're going to approach this one. They need Medusa. They need this butterfly on Shiro. She's level 18, super high level.
They've got vision. They know where they're at. Infest, Miero looking for an opening. He's going to wrap all the way around. This might actually open them up for a fight. The Courier comes in.
This is the tankiest
the
target.
Shiro. They'll go for the Kunkka. Sonic Wave lands, but now they've got the Stampede. Medusa trying to do anything, but now Shiro's going to run out of mana, and he is in trouble. They're in with the lasso. They've got the control. They got the kill on a Y, and they're going to take out Shiro. The Medusa is dead. The damage from the Avalanche, they'll take Miero's life, but does Bach have enough? Not really. Nothing to say. Not looking like he's going to have enough
nice
either.
infest.
Ghost Ship comes in. That lands, and that's another kill for the side of BetBoom Team. Planet, it's going to be a full team wipe here for the Radiant.
A little surprised that they decided to go on Kunkka. Like, this is the tankiest hero that you have on the team. He gets the Blade Mail off. He has Poor Man's Shield. He has Tough as his enchantments. He has good amount of armor as well. And has SNY, so status resistance. Plus, he also has good amount of HP. Then he gets Crimson Guard from the Centaur, gets the Stampede out. And he's down to half HP because they didn't proc his run before.
Making a move, the good wraparound from Miero. He was following that Courier to make that jump. He starts in. They have the Stampede as well. And Medusa fighting that first fight, but doesn't really come out ahead. Toss and an Avalanche.
Can always rage
And
TP out.
immediately a TP out.
The only thing that can stop him if he misuses that, if he's TPing like relatively late, then Glimpse can catch him off guard, or if Medusa stands in front of him.
Tidebound down 11,000. Not much has gone right for them in this game. The only thing really looking like it's going right at all, and it's not really as efficient as it can be, is where the Medusa's at. a lot of farm for the Medusa, but it's just not enough alone. And they're too tanky on the side of BetBoom.
And speaking of tankiness, Save just picked up Solar Crest. This is not an item you see on the Batrider every day. It's more about the Force Staff, getting your BKB, maybe try to go for something more aggressive, get the Aghanim Scepter, something more greedy. But I really like this because you're playing against Medusa, so now there's Crimson, there's Solar Crest as well, there's Radiance. So all of these items are causing Medusa trouble for dealing the damage. Orchid on Nature's Prophet, also very, very good against Queen of Pain, who doesn't have BKB available. When he sees that Orchid, he might need to swap this Ogre Axe into a BKB. Planet?
He tried. Respect the effort, but just a little bit too early. At this point, feeling like you gotta go for it. Not sure if anybody else really wanted to be there with him for it, but it ends up that Tidebound, they lose another, and Pure still sitting top of the net worth. He'll go for the tier 2 tower over bottom. With all this being done so far by Tidebound, it's not as though, or being done by BetBoom, it's not as though they've pushed too far yet. Tidebound's map is small, but they have access to some part of the maps because BetBoom have kind of been in this bottom side of the map for a while.
Yeah, they've been controlling the majority of the area of the map. They do have Gem, so they have some ways of dealing with vision from Tidebound. And also to point out, Centaur, this is what I love about Miero. I'll hold that thought. Maybe they're going to be able to get initiation on Shiro. He does have backup from the rest of the team. Stampede's also available. Infested Batrider. Not going to find anything. This shard on Centaur, this is pretty big. It does allow you to get more damage block onto Crimson Guard. Let's say you get 2 double edges, it increases your strength by 12%, and then you get the Crimson.
Static Storm, Kinetic Field, killing a Kataomi for Planet, but Bach is going to get caught. He's not tanky enough. The Infest will pop, they'll pull him back with the X, and it ends up being a 2-for-1. GPK getting a double kill. Just not enough here for Tidebounds. They give, but then they take and then they give. And they're giving more than they can take. Hoping that Medusa can kind of be this end-all, be-all carry, but they're already up on the high ground. They've already broken a tier 3. Planet looking for a blink initiation. They do not have Bach. They don't have this supposed tanky hero with them, but they do have Ags now for this Queen of Pain.
Maybe with some toss back Planet. He's ready to go in. Doesn't get it.
Avalanche. But Pure running down Planet. The Infest into him. He'll pop out. And this Tiny's already dead. Shiro, do you even have the damage? Blink in with the hoof stomp. Pure goes and turns around right back onto the Medusa. Sonic Wave hits on a 4. But is it enough? Shiro down with no mana, but they've turned to stone. Can he survive? Can they get these kills? Can anybody drop on BetBoom? They got the Aegis, but that just doesn't mean anything until they get more. They'll take out GPK, nothing to say in Innocence, trying to run the TP attempt from Pure right in the back of their base, and he leaves, but they got saved. They got Kataomi, and they took out GPK. It cost them their center axe bottom.
Yeah, Medusa still got a good amount of gold from that previous fight. He's going to push her closer to her next big item, which is going to be Scotty. Little overextension there from BetBoom. Definitely not needed to play it out like that, but also they need to respect Queen of Pain. They need to respect once you start losing that Rum buff, boat buff as well, it's just that you lose so much HP, and now with Aghanim Scepter on Queen of Pain, that Shadow Strike, it's going to hurt a lot.
Shiro just doesn't.
I thought he was going into the fountain,
damage.
but this Aghanim Scepter deals good amount of damage. It doesn't disarm anymore, so this is also a bit of a downside against some of these carry-to-carry matchups, especially ranged ones.
Planet again. He is in no man's land. curious to understand what he's trying to accomplish because he has died behind where the tier 2s are standing or stood
Yeah, that
multiple times.
was not a well-planned execution there. I guess he's just trying to plant vision. I believe that. No, it was actually planted by Y, the one in Radiant
Shiro
Triangle.
bottom. Was trying to TP out, got X back. Is anybody else here for BetBoom, though? They're on their way. Static Storm, BKB. This looks like a long, drawn-out death for Shiro. He has been caught, and that's all because of GPK. They've got this Orchid on Ketomi. Put that through on the Medusa, Flame Break, Hoof Stomp, and no more mana for ya means no more life as well.
This Shadow Blade allowing them to get this type of a pick-off, and we said it. He wanted to go for this item even before a BKB. Now with BKB available, I guess they just don't want to get clipped by Static Storm. Queen of Pain's also very annoying. So going for BKB and now into Shadow Blade, into Silver Edge, being able to break Bristleback is going to be a big deal, even though Bristleback has not been causing them way too many issues in this one.
No, he hasn't really been causing them that many issues. He hasn't felt tanky.
No.
Heroes felt tanky. But I don't know about Bach. Might need to be working a bit more on the music. Ketomi thinking about TPing multiple times. And again, just behind Planet, potentially finding him, but he... Oh! Oh! They got it at the last second. GPK. I need a slowed down replay of where that TP was at. Because that was near the end.
It was gone. Yeah, pretty much.
I thought he got him as he was disappearing. That was insane. I mean, there's no reason for BetBoom to back up. And there's what you were asking for, that Silver Edge.
They're so tanky. Like this, Kuka can build, that's the power of this hero. He can build pretty much into anything. It feels good. We saw a good amount of Divine Rapiers with the Blink Dagger, AC, BKB, whatever is necessary. Orchid, if you need some extra bit of a control early on.
Get that tier 2 mid. And they just continue to push. Yeah, these items, like you said, really stacking up, making life really difficult. And here's the replay on this TP. Thank you guys very much. And... What?
What? He was out!
Okay.
All right, play it again.
Go back. Wait a second.
Slow it down.
Rewind. Thank you. All right. And then...
He's gone.
Wait a second.
He's not even here. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's in a completely different spot.
That's... that one may not be on you, Planet. I'm just saying. That's... Wow. I don't know. that was cool.
I'm pretty sure Planet would not say that this was cool.
You think so? Maybe in retrospect, after the calm down.
Maybe the X mark clipped it. I didn't see Kunkka use X mark, but he was gone. I didn't see X mark at all.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Maybe he used invisible X mark to spot.
That could be the upgrade. Not that would really...
It's the Shadow Blade. Yeah, it makes all your spells invisible.
Invisible. That's the upgrade from Silver Edge. But that would be very broken. If you couldn't see anything. Sometimes my games are bugged and I can't see it, but that's different.
Yeah, Planet is the only guy who was not subscribed to Dota Plus. That's why it didn't work. Didn't purchase the no bug DLC.
Save looking for a BKB. Still 74-26. Like, there is so much faith in a farmed Medusa. And also the fact that, like, there's already been so many games in this tournament already that have turned around from a heavy net.
Medusa's definitely that hero, but it does feel he needs, like, 2 items. He needs a Disperser / Daedalus, and might need a Divine Rapier as well.
Yeah, and then you can do something. Anyway, 5-man smoke from Tidebound. As they're looking for their opening, their opportunity. Heaven's Halberd for Bristleback, but perfect positioning from Yarrow, although Planet, where are they? Avalanche off the mark, and now he's bound for some damage and death, because they will go for Planet, and they've got that kill onto the Tiny quickly.
And Yarrow, he buys 20% HP.
BKB, Miero. Uh-oh. He's fine. Kataomi gets out. Nothing to say is caught. Down goes the Queen of Pain. Doesn't have buyback. They finally get the Nature's Prophet. But the damage coming through from the Medusa is felt, but you just need to be able to survive. You need mana. They've got the Infest. Somebody gets some mangoes. Shiro needs mana to work with, and I don't think that they're going to find it, but they've got the toss. Pure, the damage on a save. Down goes save. Finally, they finish off Shiro. They will get why Pure is godlike. Looking at Bach. As they hit that Sprout, they've got the X. They put him on the other side of the trees. He is broken and trying to fight back, but just does not have enough.
Yeah, still showing that they can take these fights, but they're a bit too much behind. Like, Medusa is pretty much your only damage dealer. Queen of Pain died way too quickly, dealing... Like, this is not the type of a damage that you want to see from Queen of Pain in a fight, especially in a longer fight with Aghanim Scepter. You want her to live, you want her to get multiple Shadow Strike, then you want to spread Stream of Pain damage. Pure, having a blast of a game. This Diffusal Blade with MKB, countering what Medusa wants to do. Let's see how Bach is going to orchestrate this defense.
If you're BetBoom and you've seen how the tournament's gone, do you go for Mega Creeps?
If they've been paying attention, probably not. Just go for the end.
Instead, they back away for now.
These are the type of performances you would expect from Pure. I think he had pretty mediocre couple of last tournaments that he did play in, and so far BetBoom also didn't have the greatest tournament. Yesterday on Lina didn't really shine as well. Basically, I would say losing all 3 games, but this time around, not dying a single time. 9-0 and 12.
Everybody back up again for both teams. Buyback status is few. Nobody's got it actually on BEP. If this doesn't go perfectly for them, they could end up getting pushed a little bit. Ags for the Centaur War Runner to open up that war course. You could potentially hitch a ride.
There's so many saves that they can have in this game. First of all, you have tankiness coming out from Kunkka with the boat, and then you have Crimson Guard with Shard on Centaur, Aghanim Scepter, Infest as well. Croakers helping out, of course.
And now bound, Ethereal, Stampede, trying to get a kill on a Bach. They've got the Orchid, but now they hit the X. He's coming back, or is he? He's able to get that BKB off and stay inside the base. You did still get Planet. Planet has been struggling a little bit. 3-13. 3-13-9, and if he continues to die, they might have to kick him out of the Planet Association, change his name to Pluto.
Yeah, that is the dwarf planet. Man, Pluto, I don't think he deserved this, to be honest. First, he was the real planet. Then they're like, you know what? We have this new definition. Now you're not a planet. Then they come up with the name that you're like, okay, you feel bad. You're a dwarf planet now. And suddenly Pluto's back to being planet again.
But doesn't get included in the 9 planets of the solar system.
He is. Pluto's back.
Back officially?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Let me just Google that, but I believe Pluto is...
Pluto is back.
Pluto back to being a planet. There we go.
Pluto last won their previous match.
No, wait, again, no. Has not been officially reclassified as a planet since 2006. Man, they did him dirty.
Static Storm committed, and that's to zone them out and get themselves that banner. Jump in, Lasso. Shiro's going to be the first one to go. They go to the Avalanche. They've got themselves Sonic Wave off onto the side, but no more mana for Shiro. In trouble. Needs some help, but not currently finding it. BKB as well as the Stone Gaze Nothing to say, dies, but he's the one who had buyback. They'll hit the glimpse, but won't be able to pull him all the way in.
Right. Workhorse used on that glimpse. There are so many ways of stopping that glimpse from going off. He can infest, they can use the Workhorse, they can also X-Mark, whoever is getting glimpse back. But this is also Nature's Prophet, who's starting to scale.
Yeah, we saw this with the previous Nature's Prophet game. Orchid was first, now the Ags going for the Hurricane Pike. They're able to rip through the mana of Medusa very quickly. It has not been fun for Shiro. And it's a 23,000 net worth lead. They were trying to get Mega Creeps. And that in itself is scary. But I won't tell you for who. Or for whom. 36-17, Tidebound just hoping Medusa can carry them to the finish line, drag their dead bodies across. But they have to hold on, they have to try and defend. X, Gorgon's Grasp, almost level 25 for the Lifestealer. They're gonna TP back, at least one. And that's the Nature's Prophet. It can come back into the fight immediately. They pick up the smoke.
I love this. They want to enter through the bottom lane, try to surprise them. Whoever is in the back lines might get jumped here. There's a big item. Y does have Aghanim Scepter Static Storm available, so if they catch him, this is your way of coming back into the game. They're going to see Y.
Yeah, they're going to see him. They get pushed back immediately. Can he even get a Static Storm off? No. Dead. No buyback. Out of the fight. Sonic Wave comes through pure. He's dead. It's just the Aegis, though. And they have a way back in with the lasso. The control is there. Medusa's in trouble. The ghost ship lands and they'll get the kill. 90 seconds, no buyback. GG is called and BetBoom take game number 1.
Pretty much a perfect game from them. It took them good 40 minutes to close this one out, but they were always in control. They completely shut down, nothing to say. Their only saving grace was...
Thank you very much, Tsunami and the rest of the panel. You guys are amazing. And we're coming into a Huskar game where GPK, his last Huskar game was 24 days ago. Not too long ago, only 13 games professionally with a 46% win rate. The last one was not so great against Paravision at Dream League, where he went 3-5-4.
There are some counters to Huskar in this game. Panel already discussed the Oracle, them having save behind them, but there's also relatively earned. Spirit Vessel, sure, can be dispelled by Oracle. Again, you are playing into Doom. You're going to be playing into these maneuverable heroes. Nature's Prophet with the Hurricane Pike, Batrider, you have ability that goes through debuff immunity. So there's a lot of things that T doesn't like to play into in terms of stopping the region, especially Doom. Spirit Vessel on Nature's Prophet, we saw how good this can be from position 4. I want to see what Planet is going to be making on this position for Doom. Maybe like a Spirit Vessel is a great item against Huskar in general. It's a great item, period. It's just, is somebody gonna be getting this? Because I don't know if Batrider can get it. Maybe from position 4 Doom you can. It's a relatively expensive item, but you might also need it. The problem is it is dispellable. Like sometimes you need to think whether this is gonna be getting you the value. Can't tell me.
Flame Break. Decent spot. Miero comes in with pretty big shield crash. Boundless Strike on 3. Shiro's dead. Kathaomi gets first blood. And it looks like they might even get Bach. The Blood Grenade landed and Miero is moving forward. But the stun was on a Pure. Save gets the kill. And that's 2 already for BetBoom.
Pretty massive. Him going there and then using Fortune's End immediately, dispelling the Flame Break. And getting, I think there was a like 4-man shield crash.
Yeah, I think it was too. I mean, that was pretty much me.
No, it was actually 5-man shield crash because he had, at one point when I clicked him, 230 barrier, which can only mean if you got it on 5 heroes. It's 50 per hero at level 1.
Damn. So big 5-man shield crash level 1 to do a lot to keep him survivable and run at these heroes. And
nothing to say.
This is already looking like it's not going to be fun for nothing to say.
He's dead.
Oh my god.
Fairy Fire, let's see.
Oh gosh.
Does he use it? Not gonna need it.
Yeah, this
Lane's gonna push though. So at least that's something. Let's see if he's gonna be bringing any extra regen on the courier.
He's gonna need
just tangos. So Boots of Speed actually as his first item.
Is that what you need? GPK gonna push this all the way under tower. See if he can get any other denies. He'll get hit a couple times by that tower, but nothing to say. Grabbing a couple CS. So not the worst thing in the world, but GPK is 4-4. Working on his own creeps and working on making nothing to say his life very difficult in this lane.
If you can survive through these first couple of levels, this is the most difficult part. Still gonna be a difficult matchup, because Huskar does have silence compared to the old school Huskar who did have disarm, which was also good against some of the matchups. Nothing to say. Blinking on top of him pretty much in the mid lane.
We'll see if Shiro maybe rotates if there's a kill opportunity. So.
Yeah, there's definitely a potential. Panel also talked about maybe something that Paravision does is bring one of the supports. Problem is they got a first blood, they got a second blood as well. And if you leave Shiro alone, for example, if Y decides to make a move to the mid lane, it's not going to be an easy one for Shiro. So you have to take an L in this one. It just might be nothing to say who's going to be doing that. And he's doing a good job blinking over, dragging the creep wave with this Boots of Speed. So we'll be getting the XP no matter what.
Good job by Nothing to Say to at least get something out of the lane when things initially looked pretty devastating. Gotta always worry about Oracle. He is no joke when it comes to essentially putting some damage on with level 2, especially in the Purifying Flames, when he gets to that point. But bottom lane, this doesn't exactly feel like the most killer lane for Tidebound.
Definitely not. It's a bit more of a sustain lane. Maybe they can get a trade kill, but playing against Bango from the offlane that has a good start, that is sitting on 16 CS, makes it super difficult. You get that level 3, 2 points in shield crash with double jump, makes it impossible for you to play aggressive on him. Windranger is also not the easiest hero to kill.
Really not at all, and if you get a little bit too low, you might just get sniped out with that kill shot. And Y, one shot from dead. Save. Can he line it up? Does he even need to line it up? Doesn't look like it. Nero going under the tower and chasing all the way over to shield crash on top of Y and get that kill. Makes it a 2,000 net worth lead already for BetBoom Team. And they are up 3-0. Every lane going really immaculate for them.
Top lane is the big one. 23-10 on Monkey King. Vengeful Spirit sitting at 14. We saw a good amount of Vengeful Spirit from the off lane. Also in the previous couple of tournaments, this hero became more popular.
Boundless Strike, Planet. Purifying Flames. And now it's time to heal. Okay. So took all that damage, but then gets to go back all the way up towards 100%, especially with that heal active ability. And he's picked up.
It is costly, 60 mana. He does have Clarity running, Infused Raindrop.
Yeah, not the cheapest of spells, but definitely showing there's potential for pressure from this BetBoom lineup. And that's really no surprise. Oracle, when he was more popular within the meta, feels like a very aggressive support, especially at level 3.
One thing they're not going to be like getting the usage of is having Oracle with Prognosticate, which can't tell you which rune and on which side it's going to be, and having a mid laner that doesn't buy into bottle, so you're not getting like the full value out of it. Let's say you have Storm Spirit or any of the spirits pretty much that utilize that bottle real nicely. That's when you can make the aggressive play as well, knowing exactly where it's going to spawn. Nothing to say. Still doing okay-ish considering what he's playing into.
Yeah, if there was a time for this lane to kind of get devastating, it was within that first 2 levels. But the surviving early ends up being all right, but Pure, he's come to bottom. They want the power shot and the kill on a Shiro, They've got it. There was a TP in from Planet, but it's just well too late.
That was a very aggressive move. These, like, I would say that there are only 2 players in this tournament that would have done this. It is Parker and Pure. They love to play these super aggressive carries that get involved relatively early on. Like, he's on top of the CS. He's 34 and 11 and still makes a move like this.
4 kills to nothing, and GPK putting the damage in with the power shot, but that's not going to be enough to get through it when it is all said and done back into the base. But it does send Queen of Pain out of the lane, and GPK will have some free farm. 2 of these heroes on the side of BetBoom already have about 40 CS and really are not being deterred at all from continuing to stay in their lane and play aggressively. I'm kind of wondering whether or not Pure's going to come back and do that again. TP over just to go through the twin gate. He's not holding onto a TP, so he won't do it in the moment. But balance strike on a 3. Kataomi's here. They're going to TP in some more. Primal Spring, they'll land. They'll get the kill in a Bach. They'll look over, maybe getting Planet and or Shiro.
Shiro has no
Shiro
boots.
came over, and he is so slow. But Fortune's End being charged up, and GPK is here. This is really so bad for Tidebound, and BetBoom are just making their presence felt with a foot on the throat of Tidebound immediately.
Shiro wanted to give him the taste of his own medicine, what he just received in the bottom lane. They try to outnumber him. He manages to get out of trouble. Has infused Raindrop because he was involved in 5 out of 6 kills. He does have Orb of Corrosion, slows everybody down with Boundless Strike. They're in again. Nothing to say, has Sonic Wave.
Pure's not even taking any damage. They've got the Shackle shot, and Bach, he's dead. Do they finally get one on the board? No.
I think they should try to gank Monkey King one more time.
3rd time's a charm.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot.
It's a difficult one for them. Like, first of all, he needs to make a move because he can't play against GPK in the mid lane. Planet.
So now even the neutrals have more kills than Tidebound.
Planet again in no man's land. Gets a deny.
He plays aggressive. Planet plays so far forward. He is no fear. Life break on nothing to say.
A little surprised that he doesn't have 1 point in silence against Queen of Pain. This could have maybe could have gotten him the kill. It's not the longest duration of the silences, but still 1 point could make the difference. 1.5 second.
Couple bounty runes picked up by nothing to say to fill up that bottle. Where do you stabilize for Tidebound? You're so far behind.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I have the answer. This is the type of a lineup that needs a lot of items. Your Venge, she needs Aghanim Scepter. Queen of Pain again having a really rough start. Scan did connect there for a second. 3-man rotation
Shiro
through the twin gates.
He's by the Boglets.
Wait,
And somehow not spot. Oh, well, that
Observer Ward's gonna scout him. Shackle is ready.
Shackle needed to lock him down. No, they've got everything else.
Bat is also dead.
They've got a
No
Rolling Thunder and a
Firefly.
Boundless Strike. There's the Shackle. It connects. Now 9-0.
They placed double Observer Ward, one by Save and the other one by Kataomi in the bottom. Thinking the same thing. We need to see him because the smoke just broke.
This oh Planet. Ooh.
Good juke.
Now nothing to say though. Are they gonna continue to just dive in? GPK not afraid. Shiro comes in. How many ganks does it take? The swap. Can they finally get on the board? Put it on the board. Tidebound get a kill at 10 minutes in. 9-1 for BetBoom. But up 4,000 net worth still. I mean, this is all BetBoom. I was going to ask you, it feels like 3 games in a row, Tidebound have chosen to go with these slower lineups. And they've just been found out. Like, BetBoom has played fast pressure the last 2 games.
It's not necessarily slow in terms of what the heroes wanted to do if they didn't have to swap the lanes, have this Doom, let's say, being played as a carry. They just needed to respond to what was last picked overall, and that's Huskar So your Queen of Pain gets shut down in the lane, which means that she needs a little bit more time to recover. And then your Nature's Prophet gets ganked 2 times. Suddenly you're in a lot of trouble. Kataomi here, good swap.
Gave him the swap out of the circle, but Bach still in trouble. And Purifying Flames again, Pure diving. Sometimes your biggest enemy is your own success if you dive under this tower, but the power shot doesn't get the kill shot. And BetBoom will stay patient and not dive past this tower, make things a little bit more difficult for them. Respecting what could have come from Tidebound in terms of TPs and damage under the tier 1, but they'll still go. They'll throw the Doom out, and Huskar's dead, so GPK dead another time, and all of a sudden, Tidebound maybe they're starting to fight back a little bit.
A little bit too aggressive. Doom was 1 creep away in that top fight to get level 6, finally gets it. But this should also be most likely a tower, bringing in 3 heroes. Oracle is level 5, but with the Focus Fire and Catapult, Orbital Corrosion, they should have enough damage.
And tower is taken. Pure. Getting credit for the tower take. They do not have Doom, however, they got Magic Missile, they've got the lasso with the Infernal Blade, and all of a sudden, Tidebound, they're inching their way back.
Slowly, they need to keep doing this. Allow Shiro to get some farm. Relieve some pressure off him. He did die 4 times in 12 minutes.
And he needs some, some real recovery time. All these cores down about 2,000. 1,000 to 2,000 on their counterparts. And they're losing a lot of objectives, and the map is shrinking for Tidebound, but they are taking what they can get with some of these kills. Lane mail finish for nothing to say.
It might be Roche time. Him having Shield Rune. Oracle is level 6, so they can just go in and take it. The earlier you take it, the better. The sooner the second Roche is going to respawn.
GPK. Never have to worry. Miero just right in front of the Roshan. They should be able to get an Aegis. Nobody even nearby for the side of Tidebound. Oh.
It is always scary.
The bashes, you never know. If the timing is right, you could pay your price with your life. But they've got an early Aegis, 13.5 minutes into the game. They've got a lot to work with a lead here for everybody on their team. Miero especially, top of the net worth. All that being said, only 63% to 37%. Y is deep here. Very deep. Still being greedy, trying to farm it, and make sure that save doesn't see him. Okay. Flame break, but eventually, yeah, this is not going to last much longer. Nobody else is here. Save gets a kill on a Y.
Save Wind Ranger, always a 3 to watch. Involved in every single kill. 5, 0, and 6. A lot of blade mails being built. You are playing against Huskar. I see Doom. Position 4 also thinking about getting one.
Reflect as much as you can. If they're so strong, maybe them hitting themselves is enough to knock themselves out. Windrunner without a death. Pango and Oracle the same. You've got False Promise you can rely on. Amplify damage for the next few seconds. And a lot of Atos pretty early from save. So even more control for the side of BetBoom Team. Tidebound just taking their time to continue to farm. And for the most part, it's slowed down the progression that BetBoom were getting out of this game. They're only up 4,000-ish net worth, but it's been that way for a little while.
Yeah.
And you kind of see that they've put some gauze on the wound and have slowed it down. They've slowed the bleeding down a little.
Y needs to play this type of a game. Allow his cores to try to get some levels, get to the next items. Raindrop, keeping him alive there. Power shot would definitely kill him.
Does he?
He still might die in the end. Pure is going to chase him. Let's see, power shot. Oh, that's a bit off the mark.
Turn back into him and gives that kill to Pure. He'll pick up 286 gold. He wants that Radiance.
It's not Ame Radiance build with 1 Null Talisman, 1 Sage Mask, no boots, straight into Radiance type of a build. It's like I also want to be dealing some of the damage early on, get relatively involved, and then I can start to scale with Radiance.
Trying to scale with Radiance, GPK working with this Aegis for 2 more minutes and putting damage onto the tier 2 tower. They're going to get an even deeper tower pre-20 minutes. BetBoom squeezing tight on the map.
Pango on top of the network. Offlane Pango, not what you see every day. Maybe you're going to see Amar being top networked on this hero, but it also, like the reason why they're so far ahead is that they managed to kill multiple towers. There are, how many? 4 towers missing, plus Roshan. They are controlling bounty runes as well. Controlling all the runes, all the active runes with Oracle. Nothing to say. Needs to be careful here.
What's to stop them from going for this mid-tier 2? Tidebound's so unwilling to take a fight, and for the right reasons. They really can't take one too well. 5v5. Radabatos rolling Thunder coming in, and the Shackle connecting. That means Planet, nowhere for him to go. Fortune's End, never got a chance to move, and Save is now unstoppable. Continues the trend of being involved. I believe, yes, still involved in every single kill. Why again? Spotted Save is here. He has been everywhere. And he has got another kill. He's wicked sick.
It might be time to start scaling with this hero. I mean, he's scaling already. Level 9, has Rod of Athos, now purchased. Mana Boots, has Blink and Shard in his quick buy, but we'll see if he commits to it. Spark of Courage is the big one. It gives you 10 damage with Focus Fire. It definitely adds up. This is also the big item on Tidebound. Aghanim Scepter on Vengeful Spirit. Immediately, they're going to try to look for something. He's not afraid to die.
They've also got Mjolnir on Nature's Prophet. Swap in, away for Kathaomi. With a jump forward from Pure and Miero, they'll go and throw down the Wukong's command. The Sonic Wave trying to push him out. They'll go to the Doom, and now they'll look to get the kill. But the False Promise is there. Bach dead for the first time. Shackled on the second life. He dies immediately. And just holding onto the threshold, no. GPK will die to nothing to say.
That False Promise ended slightly earlier, even with status resistance on S and Y, but that was a nice play. As soon as they got Aghanim Scepter, he TPs in, gets the swap, they kill him one time. Rest of the team, they were ready to back him up, but not getting much out of it. Trading 1 for 1.
They will look towards top because nothing to say is there. But how do you get the complete control onto this Quap? Goes to the bridge. Boundless Strike not going to be in range. But Miero is here. They'll blink, but nothing to say, needs some help. Pops that Blade Mail, trying to get bounced to the low ground. It is not working. Not going to matter, though. Blinks back towards the tier 3 tower because there still is no tier 2. Because it's been taken at 16 minutes into the game.
As long as they can keep doing this, they're going to be in the game. And look at why. Going through the Twin Gate, wants to cut the top creep wave, potentially.
Go through the Twin Gate and see maybe they get Shiro. Uh-oh. Mjolnir Armor has that with Treads, trying to go for Hurricane Pike. He is out of there. They had that OBS by the Twin Gate. He gets to escape. Just continues to move around. Just continues to try and farm anything that he can. He wants to get himself a Hurricane Pike. There's nowhere for them to really set up to go for a kill for the side of Team Tidebound. It's really on them to maybe farm. I don't think this smoke was spotted. Ooh, Shackle shot 7 of 7? Some pretty high accuracy.
This is the only time you could say that you can play better. Like, literally cannot be playing Dota game better than this. Nice move from Tidebound, going for Tormentor on the enemy side, considering that they lost the tower, and they might get potentially a tower out of this one. Let's see how BetBoom approaches it.
Ooh. Why? he dies, and I think that will end the 100% kill participation for Save as he's over mid. Now just 7-0-8 to the 16 kills of BetBoom. Planet is going to spot Miero, who has that inhibited. Thinking about the Rolling Thunder, Fortune's End, nothing to say, hiding in the trees, nothing doing for them to jump in and look.
Sees Ghost Scepter immediately, does not want to commit. Pango is all about that physical damage. Needs some kind of a follow-up. Thinking about maybe stealing the XP Shrine. Miero will get it.
Nobody tries to stop that. They knew he was there, they knew he was staying close, but they just don't want to risk it. They'll just continue to farm. Flame Break, Pure, Wukong's, and the swap stops that circle immediately. And Pure is in trouble. He'll try to TP out, but the damage from Shiro is overwhelming enough to get that kill into the Monkey King.
Maybe with Treads on strength, he would have been able to TP out. Nice try, though, but this is not the old Monkey King's facet, which does allow you to get... Like, you could have walked out for 4 seconds. Even if you die, you would still have Wukong's. But this swap has been a problem for him. Even for Huskar, repositioning him away from Oracle. And the gold lead is starting to creep up on BetBoom. Only 2k gold lead right now.
I'm surprised. But also, I guess somewhat inflated by the Doom. That being said, Save's been having such a good game. They're keeping up with said Doom. Venge doesn't really have much, but Ags is really, I guess, everything you need to really be effective. A lot of the farm priority could just be put on the Queen of Pain and the Nature's Prophet. Save, Fortune's End, Gale Force, keeping them back. And they're searching, and they are cutting into the net worth lead. It's now just about even.
Roshan
for GPK
is respawning shortly. Needs 30 seconds, so they can go inside a Roche pit, try to force a fight.
Are you a little surprised that BetBoom Team have been quiet the last few minutes?
There's still respect. Like, there's global presence from Nature's Prophet. Queen of Pain is relatively slippery. They don't have that much control. You could see them trying to kill Queen of Pain, trying to kill this Batrider multiple times. Y has been doing a good job cutting the creep waves, playing behind enemy lines. He does have Greedy Enchantment, and also he does have Stoked as his facet. One of the reasons why he's killing the creeps so quickly.
He's working on a Blink Dagger, but we've seen Y get caught pretty far out. A good amount. To the tune of 6 deaths. Smoke from BetBoom. Who can they find? They are grouped up on Tidebound. But who's first in their line of sight? Nothing to say is close to them. So is the Venge. He throws the Wave of Terror onto this Roche. Realizes that it's back up. Blink in, nothing to say. Very aggressive Bleemail pop, but they've got the swap. This is Pure going in very deep. Nothing to say. Throws out the Sonic Wave. Needs to blink out of the Wukong's command.
Pure is dying.
Thunder's still going, and now Pure is going to be dead again. Bach ends up dying, but it has that second life. BKB's been popped on the Magic Missile. Life Break onto the Doom. Miero is in. They hit the Shackle. It's not enough to say. They get the kill on a Planet. The look over is now GPK outputting so much right click. But will it be enough? He is surviving for now, but he needs to toggle. He needs to keep living, and unfortunately, with Shiro and his damage, won't be able to continue on. As Team Tidebound, even that fight at 3 apiece.
Not too bad of a fight. Oracle doesn't get the ulti. Monkey King is pretty much in no man's land. Having a hard time, rest of the team connecting with them, but they also have an insane amount of damage, like amplifying the damage. Doom has Alpha Wolf, Pack Leader's Aura, 30% extra damage. Vengeful Spirit Aura is maxed out, so that's extra 25. Doom with drums, now full Boots of Bearing as well. A lot of blade mails, like he almost kills himself instantly. Sure, he wants to be on the lower HP to have that extra attack speed, but look where Pure is. Got caught. I think he had a pretty nice read where he's gonna go with the change of the guard.
had a good read and isolated from the rest of his team. And like you said, they kind of lack the lockdown. Or like Boundless Strike, the Shackle Shot, and Rolling Thunder is kind of what they're working with. But when Rolling Thunder is on the top part of the fight and they've got Monkey King on the bottom side of the fight isolated, there's nothing to really help him out. GPK will try to go for Roche. This is risky. They've got Swap. You need to be ready for whatever Roche throws at you.
They have ops and sentry, but GPK is relatively low. There is no Doom for 30 seconds. If they're keeping an eye on that one, they should know.
Oh,
Swap, they got him.
Oh my god, they blew him up in a heartbeat.
Roshan killed Kataomi.
Why? He's the first one to die on Tidebound. Changing the guard, Pure. He will kill Bach, but Bach has that second life ready to go. Shackle doesn't connect.
Swapped
They'll
again.
Get the swap. They'll take him out Pure, and now they'll look for Save, who will try to TP away, and the damage is not enough as Save gets back into the base, and now they go for Roche. Tidebound have
They're back.
control in the game.
They're definitely back in this game. The execution of this team fight was beautiful. Swap into the Sonic Wave immediately, seeing that Huskar is on relatively low HP, so they managed to burst him down. And now you have both Blink Daggers on your position 4 and 5, which is going to make the fight so much easier for you. And P will be holding on to that Aegis.
GPK,
look at how low he is.
Watch this swap into the Sonic Wave.
Right on top of him. Nothing to say, beautifully executed. And also nothing to say, he's sitting inside of a Roche pit. Sure, you have Blink, but you also are not taking the damage. And every single time Pure connects onto the target, he dies immediately afterwards. Sure, you killed Bach, but he's gonna respawn and he doesn't care too much about it. Bango, where's the follow-up? NP is here.
TP, the damage is enough. Shiro is online. He has a 4,000 net worth lead himself over anybody on the side of BetBoom. They thought about dropping in that Doom, but they may not even need it. Save. Now gonna try with the damage. Sonic Wave and Shiro in. He is everywhere right now. And now Pure as well as Kataomi are in trouble. He has this Blink Dagger. He already used the False Promise on himself, but Planet is here. Pure, if he jumps in, he might be asking for trouble because there is Doom available on Planet, so there's no way for him to really help out.
Tidebound, they just started to accelerate. You could see them knowing that BetBoom Team, they don't have much right now to punch back. Even with the next round of items, I see Huskar trying to go for Satanic. Sure, it's going to give you some tankiness, but there is Doom on the other side with the Blink Dagger now, and I like what I see from Planet in his quick buy. Going for Vlad's, this is going to be insane amount of damage. Venge, Pack Leader Aura, plus Vlad's, if you can get to that, your Nature's Prophet, right-click, is pretty much going to double.
It's a pretty high number. They'll finally take the top tier 1. 30 minutes into the game. They see Shiro. They got this ward just up top. Another Blade Mail for now Bach. He's making that out. Ooh, actually, never mind. Just buys out on the Asha.
Everybody except Batrider was toying with the idea of picking up Blade Mail on their side.
Why not? Why not? Especially being in the Wukongs or dealing with Huskar's damage. Blade Mail feels very good this game. 5-man smoke from Team Tidebound. They are in a position where a fight won across the river might even give them enough to push up into the high ground. EKB in the life break. They've got the silence. It's on the Queen of Pain. The balance strike lands. Nothing to say needs help. Sonic Wave used. False Promise is there. Nothing to say ends up dead, but Kataomi is going to fall afterwards. Miero's stuck on this cliff, bouncing around like a pinball. But they get GPK. Bach's going to survive, killed off by the kill shot of this Windrunner. And now they hit the Doom. It's on a Miero. The right clicks from Shiro. He's in a good spot to get this kill. 3 heroes down the side of BetBoom. Flame break used. Pure on the run. He's in some trouble as the Force Staff's up onto the high ground into the buyback from GPK. They really wanted this, but Shiro's now up onto the high ground by the tier 3 tower of BetBoom. They hit the silence. He's got an Aegis, but he needs some help.
That's double buyback. That's buyback from GPK.
Where are his allies? Where is your team? They are nowhere to be found, and they will kill off Shiro a second time.
We had his team off screen, walking away, going for the Arcane Rune. They're like, peace. You went in too deep. This one's on you. Still dealing insane amount of damage. Fighting in the middle of the fight, like just standing there with Gleipnir. But he also needs rest of the team to be ready to back him up. Fights are more and more difficult. There are multiple ways of dealing with these BKBs that they do have, especially the one on Huskar, who didn't get doomed this time around, but you kill Venge, Bach, he's not afraid to die. So he gets the swap again onto a Doom target, and they kill it off immediately.
GPK did a lot of damage in that fight, but at the end of it all, BetBoom are the ones who come out behind and are forced to buy back on a couple heroes. Shiro committing to get that kill on a GPK as the false promise ran out. There's nothing to say who got credit for it, but you could see Doom used there on Miero, who didn't have that great of a rolling thunder with it bouncing up on the cliff. And it cost them pretty hard. They will get the Tormentor while this replay is going on. GPK gets the Shard.
Yeah,
he gets that upgraded Inner Fire.
They had nothing left, though. Doom had no abilities. Batrider was no mana whatsoever. You could see that Pure immediately started to maybe look for another kill, but they couldn't find anything. At least they got Tormentor. It's got Taomi who got it, I believe. No.
It was
GPK.
GPK. And no Shard for the Oracle, no Reign of Destiny. And with no Shard and no Reign of Destiny, they're still able to kill Ketaomi pretty quickly. Not really a Shard you buy out on.
No, definitely not. There are always better items to buy.
Keeping your team alive, but eventually maybe you get the Shard from the next Tormentor and you can bless the Reigns on top of your team. Life is tough, though. If they'll even get to that next Tormentor.
NP, if he's going to be sitting next to Vengeful Spirit, he almost has 600 damage. It depends also with his innate ability how many trees are around it. But with Vlad's now finished on Doom, back leader Aura.
There goes that tower. One tower remains on the outer side of the map for BetBoom. Shiro still very ahead of this Monkey King. But both games in a winnable spot, right? For both teams?
Yeah, BetBoom, I would give them like 25% chance to win this game. This Nullifier is pretty big, knowing how many annoying things they do have. There is Ghost Scepter on Queen of Pain, Nature's Prophet. This is the big one as well. Hurricane Pike is now dispellable. So what happens before, you could still push others away, but now if you use it on enemies, you push them away and you move for just a little bit. Like you move for like maybe 30 to 50 units.
See if that comes into play. Illusion Rune spawning top. Nothing to say, still has that bottle. Can fill it up and will. Pure Radiance BKB Manta looking for a basher. Has his Shard to jump in. But they need a really good fight from BetBoom to take this game back to even. It did feel as though BetBoom, when they had that huge advantage, 5K, what, 12 minutes into the game, that they kind of went a bit slower than maybe they could have.
Couldn't find any openings. Like, it's a bit difficult. Save was popping off. Save did die only one time in this game. But you don't have that Blink Initiator or anything like that. Pango's building into Diffusal, so finding the kills is a bit harder, and Tidebound did a good job. Creep skipping, especially on Batrider. He was always playing the top part of the map, getting the creep wave. And Shiro now, off to the high ground.
Gale Force, 4 staff out. They were smoked. They were maybe looking to get the wraparound, but they've backed out. And Roshan is up. Third Roche, 35 minutes into the game. And BetBoom are going that direction, potentially expecting Tidebound to make their way over. But at the same time, if they see that this Roche is up, maybe they could sneak in. Although that being said, Bach and Planet are in the triangle area.
Bach immediately after getting hit by Power Shot scouts things out with his illusions. They know exactly where both of the teams are.
Seems like the deciding fight.
This Nullifier, Miero, is, I would say, super farmed for this stage of the game as offlane Pango. There's a lot of things to nullify. We already said Hurricane Pike, Boots of Bearing, Ghost Scepters, Gale Guard, pretty much anything. Again, Force Staff on Batrider, Solar Crest. So if they can lock onto a target with him, that's going to be pretty big.
That 35-minute double catapult, by the way, is looking to take the bottom tier 3. They actually glyphed on BetBoom to defend that tier 3 tower from the double catapult wave. Roche still sits inside his cave, and now they smoke to wrap all the way out and around. Can they find Shiro first? Can they maybe go for Planet? Stop these big spells and big damage to
Yours trying to bait with
coming
the
their
illusion.
way.
They know.
There's the Rolling Thunder, Nullifier. Shackle connects, Boundless Strike, and they'll throw down the Wukong's command.
GPK got Doom.
Doom's
Lasso.
on the GPK as well as the lasso. He's controlled, but the false promise is there. Sonic Wave hit. Kethomi's in some trouble with Bach right on his tail, but the blink forward for nothing to say to get the kill into the Oracle. They'll at least get that, but GPK is back to going after Shiro hits that silence. The right clicks are in. The Nature's Prophet is in trouble and dead. They get that kill, but they lose save. Bach, nothing to say. They'll combine to get the kill on a GPK as they'll look for Pure, who will Primal Spring and TP attempt. Nobody there.
Oh, he got him down.
Firefly to cut the tree and taking Pure's life with it.
Oh, these are some really difficult fights for BetBoom. Because the way it starts, again, GPK getting multiple of those abilities, like they understand that if they do manage to deal with him, the rest of the fight is going to be easy. And this time around, Bach doesn't even die, so you would still have to go through his full illusion. He dropped down to like 15, maybe even 10% HP. Still not good enough. Good swap from Bach onto the Doom, who got initiated on, understanding that they need that Doom for the fight.
Definitely do. Planet in. Gale Force, but Miero, he's left behind. That ain't great. Save lucky enough to get an Invis rune to kind of avoid nothing to say, who's blinking around patrolling. I don't know how you bring this game back with the lead that Tidebound have. I asked you earlier how Tidebound could bring it back, and it was slowly but surely that they got pickoffs around the map. They were singular, pretty infrequent, but they also got farmed for Shiro, which, when it came down to the big team fight, ended up working out in their favor to bring this game back. But now you're in a post-timing world for Huskar.
Yeah, there isn't that much of a team fight on their side. Oracle, Wind Ranger, it's not that big of a team fight. And let's say you swap Monkey King out of the Wukongs, we've seen that so many times. That's also gone immediately. So you have Rolling Thunder, and it seems like you need to do a lot. That's why he's going for the refresher, wants to make sure that he might get another round of a spell to control them after the BKBs are down. Now Shiro, holding on to the Aegis, about to crack level 25.
Oh boy. He really farmed his way back in. Him having the Mjolnir early enough where he could help win these fights for Tidebound. He'll take the 3 times Treant HP and damage, despite that greater Treant being removed from the game. That's still the more popular talent.
Yeah, now you have multiple of those with 117 damage.
They push pretty effectively. Next neutral's coming through. Giant Small. Timeless Outworld staff for save. A couple monocles, a lot of staffs. 4 staffs, 2 monocles.
What about 4 staffs?
It's a good item.
OD staff is really good for dodging things. Especially on Monkey. He's in.
Lasso connects, but they're in with the Sonic Wave. Pure trying to fight back. Balance strike to get the kill on Innocence. They'll look over Kataomi. They'll use that refresher. They'll get the Doom. They'll take out Kataomi, who does that buyback. But Pure is in, and he is in this Wukong's command. But trying to survive, he'll change the guard, go up onto the high ground, and get away from the side of Tidebound.
So they used refresher on Doom, which is really big item for the next fight. Lost tier 3 tower and used buyback on Kataomi. So overall, not too bad for BetBoom Team.
No, not bad at all. And still a lot of time with the Aegis, so you don't have to force it again for Tidebound. They can wait 20 seconds till Wrath of Nature, 80 seconds till they've got Doom back up. But BetBoom know that timing, and they know that they want to fight. Balance Strike comes through, but nothing to say. They need to jump them. Life Break, Sonic Wave, Infernal Blade, GPK trying to fight. The blink forward, Pure's dead. Shiro got the kill, GPK is gone. No Pure for 90 seconds.
And just like that,
Kataomi stood still. He's dead for 70, and he's going to be gone with no buyback either.
I think this game might be over, actually. Kataomi has no buyback. Monkey also bought out on his MKB, decided to get in and jump, and now you're playing against Aegis for another 1 minute and 50 seconds. They should just poke for the tier 4s here if he has buyback available, because look at the damage. This is before Doom comes with Boots of Bearing and with Alpha Volt. Yeah, they're just gone. There's just not much they can do. 60 seconds, 3 versus 5. Or 3 versus 7, if you want to call it, with
Cheese and Aegis.
Cheese and Vengeful Spirit Ags.
Oh, true.
That's 1 buyback.
3.
That's the only one.
They're not going to let this Mega Creeps curse go their way, so they are just going to push in. Miero's finally coming back, but Doom's off cooldown. That's going to be used on a GPK. They hit the last of the Sonic Wave as well as the Throne going down, and we're going to a game 3. Tidebound take game number 2.
Oh, what a comeback. Like, they were down 5k, but still managed to make a really good recovery. BetBoom Team, not the cleanest game again.
It's time for the final game of this Swiss stage, and what will be a do-or-die moment for both these teams. As Tidebound took game number 1, BetBoom took game number 1, Tidebound took game number 2, and now we're on to game number 3 to see who can get away with it. A couple of different heroes coming into the mix with, you see some Bane and a little bit of Gyro. Sprinkle in some Terrorblade, and you got ourselves a little bit different drafts than we saw in the first 2 games.
Yeah, they decided to take this Gyro as the last pick against Enigma, so Bach will have to figure out how to play this lane. It's basically unplayable, but I have to disagree with the panel here. This offlane co-op, I've tried it, and she's playing into a very, very difficult matchup here. I would not like to play co-op here, because at level 1, level 2, especially now with the blink at level 1, it's a very difficult. Like, you cannot win this lane as Queen of Pain.
Is it almost worth giving up First Blood to not have to take blink?
Like, you're still not gonna win the lane, so it doesn't matter. You're playing into Warlock, you're playing into Terrorblade. Good Terrorblade players will zone you out almost instantly. Like, you get close, you see that he already has 2 illusions. You get close, you're gonna instantly start getting harassed, and it's not much you can do. Like, if you have Shadow Strike, you're not lifestealing off of your Shadow Strike like a couple of years ago. It's just a slow. So they need to play with the illusions, try to get something done. It's gonna be a lot of illusions in this bottom lane.
This is gonna be a tough lane for Miero, but mid Monkey King against Ember, how does that go?
Well, this one's definitely Monkey favored. You have no way of dealing with Flame Guard because you have no magic damage whatsoever. You're all about physical. So we'll see how Nothing to Say will approach this one. You can see the top lane Planet is dragging the creep wave, finding a way how to play the lane. I think both of the side lanes are in for a lot of trouble.
Nothing to say. Pushed under his tower by GPK, who had a really good start to game number 2. They were up 5,000 net worth at about 12, 13 minutes into the game. And Tidebound were able to bring it back, so the lanes have looked good in the past for BetBoom. But we've seen them in both sides of the coin, right? Really good lanes in game number 2 of this series where they ended up losing, but also being devastated in lanes against NAVI in that series yesterday, but still coming out ahead.
We did. They can definitely be hot and cold, and we can see some of the issues already. Nothing to Say in the mid lane. Try to drag the creep wave, something that he did as Queen of Pain in the second game when he was playing against Huskar. At least now the lane's gonna push in. He does get that last hit. Not an easy lane for him by any means. Like there's... That's the reason why I don't like this off-lane Queen of Pain. Like, I'm a big fan of it. I tried to make this Queen of Pain off-lane work for quite some time. If you get to the mid-game, if you get to the late game, then it's fine, but your early impact is definitely not there. You cannot trade. You have some of the good magic damage, but you also have Warlock on the enemy team, who's going to be stopping some of that early aggression that you might want to put in. And Shiro, back to full HP, pops the magic wand. This Shadow Strike really not doing much.
No, not at all. Miro not enjoying existing here bottom. Only 8 CS. Shiro, he's doing all right, but the rest of the team is where struggles can be felt. Enigma only has 4 CS.
I think Enigma could have just jungled from the start. This is something that other teams would do if somehow they end up in this matchup, because it's literally unplayable. I've seen Enigmas just go straight up jungle, and the other guy buys boots of speed, tries to play his own game. Not the easiest thing. You're playing against Gyro and Bane. You can get slept. They can use Rocket and run you down. But for now, Bach is trying to collect some of the XP, at least from the lane.
Kataomi on this Bane. We've seen some good Bane performances in the past. But will it be enough to get a grip on this game? Or can Tidebound really deal with this lineup that's coming from BetBoom?
And something that TB players do with all these illusions, when they have 2 illusions, they get on top of the creep, which makes it impossible for you to get a deny or the last hit. So they're blocking, and you might attack one of the illusions. These professional e-gamers, they're really good at their jobs.
Certainly are. What rotates to mid? Or who rotates to mid come 6 minutes? Is it worth bringing the supports over from Tidebound? Because, you know, you do have a Bat Rider, which will have a flame break. He can help you burn somebody out. But there is Shadow, Demon, and Bane to worry about. And those are pretty defensive supports that can help the Monkey King if BetBoom.
Yeah, these supports are probably one of the best ones that can secure the rune with Disruption, with Nightmare. But it's also Monkey King who is not really relying on those runes, but they still need to check them because enemy team does have Ember Spirit.
Man, 31 and 14 already for Gyro. As well as for that Monkey King. A lot of denies for the 2 of them, too. Nightmare pulling him in. Rocket Barrage, Flame Break, but it'll continue. Fire flying, trying to get to the Roche Pit. And now has to hide from Kataomi. We'll go all the way towards the steps.
If he gets stuck, he's going to get the first blood. Kataomi. Ooh, thinking about it. Does have Brain Sap, needs to get slightly closer and will snap him.
Wow. Stuck with him the entire time. Now Shiro actually has GPK over here. I don't know if he was expecting this, but GPK is level 6 and Save gets a kill on a Shiro. This is right back to the game plan that worked early for BetBoom, which is the movement and aggression
from
that shut down the map.
Yep, they killed Shiro in the previous game. It was level 4 Monkey King who was on top of CS in game 2, which did gank Shiro's Nature's Prophet. This time it's GPK, nothing to say. Not gonna get the rune. It's gonna be GPK with the shield rune, but getting the kill here on TB while he used meta. And this is gonna sway the matchup slightly more in favor of Queen of Pain, because if she's getting levels, this is also the hero that doesn't farm that quickly, because from the mid lane you're getting the solo XP. Right now she's level 4 with level 1 Scream of Pain. You can't really farm that much. I don't think she should be putting more into Shadow Strike. Now it's more about Scream of Pain. Maybe try to get a rotation with that Sonic Wave, try to burst somebody down.
Can anybody help Shiro get a kill here? Y is in with the Fatal Bonds that miss Miero. Not really what Tidebound we're looking for. And GPK gonna see Planet balance strike. Only Planet, it's 7 minutes into the game. He's gonna die again. Planet's level 2. And they are losing out on these shrines to have a level 2 Bat Rider, and now Bach is dead. Oh my. Kataomi is gonna run Sleight of Fist, and maybe they get this kill, or maybe not. Because they finally just barely got him, but pure trades, and that's well worth it for BetBoom.
Why is there collecting XP? Doesn't have much to offer. Did get Grimoire stacked, did get some of the XP from that one. That's gonna save his game, but Batrider will need a lane for himself. Right now, he is collecting some of that XP from the mid lane, but that's gonna be pretty difficult.
This is a repeat of game 1 so far. And that is not a good spot to be in if you're Tidebound. I would say give it another chance if you could put yourself up 5,000 net worth at 12 minutes into the game. You might be able to figure out a game plan to win that time. But it's only 1,000 right now, so I'm not going to fake it and fake hype what the advantage is. At least not too much. Mid again, nothing to say, needs to be careful.
Doesn't know that go on Planet.
Nose.
Katomi's here.
Nightmare. Wukong's making sure nothing to say doesn't answer to this. But Planet again will spend 20 seconds on the sidelines, not getting any experience and not really getting any gold. Both supports on the side of BetBoom Team are closing in on level 6, while neither support on the side of Tidebound is even touching level 5.
It's gonna need to be nothing to say, because their side lanes are very static. Terrorblade wants to farm, wants to go to jungle. Enigma as well. If he doesn't have a hero to play with, he's also gonna be falling into the jungle, knowing that he lost his lane pretty heavily. He does have slightly more than Queen of Pain, but yeah, this Queen of Pain off lane, she's putting some pressure onto TB, but this hero can't win you the lane. That's the problem. Eventually, she's going to make a comeback into the game, especially if she can get a kill on a hero like TB. If we see one of more rotations onto Shiro. Monkey right now doesn't have that much mana to work with, but we could also see Gyrocopter maybe making a move.
They've all been moving around pretty well, pretty efficiently. Gyro going to sit top as, again, Planet just looking for a space to get some experience, and immediately they ping him out. They said, this guy is trying to get level 5. We can't let that happen. He needs to continue to struggle. Bring everybody up here. Instead, he'll focus on Bach, who is level 6, but 2-3-1. Not that he would want to use Black Hole in a situation like that. But Pure gets the kill on a Bach, and Batrider ends up getting past the tier 1 tower and will start to farm the jungle on the dire side of the map. Disruption and forcing nothing to say away from the side of BetBoom Team.
Considering everything, like Batrider, he can still recover. We saw what Y did in the previous game, cutting the creep waves, farming the jungle at the same time. Now Planet picking up 2 bounty runes, finding something.
Y really loves spamming that heart ping.
Yeah, it's him and Laurel.
Yeah. Planet again. Can he juke? He's getting boxed in though. And GPK. Not gonna commit, but Kataomi's here and save right next to him. Boundless strike. And a Ketomi kill. And a tier 1 tower next on the docket. Both teams are going to glyph. They'll try to just take this tower. They've got a catapult to work with. GPK will go back towards mid while Nothing to Say puts some damage onto the tier 1 himself. But they use that ult from Save. And then he backs away towards Ketomi, who is level 6.
Doesn't have enough mana for a grip. Does have now.
Chaotic Offering comes in from Y. Do they have anything else, though? Wukong's command, the Golem hitting. He'll change the guard, get to the other side of the river. And Y's Golem still moving forward, but the Boundless Strike hits on a Nothing to Say, and he's starting to take some Shadow Poison stacks. He needs to be careful as the Sonic Wave from Yarrow hits. Nothing to Say, slights once more. Planet in the face of GPK, but the damage just isn't there. And Pure has shown up to the fight. Shiro, who can he go for? Nothing to Say ends up dead. Down goes Planet. Save falls finally to Y. But Pure, he's still half health, doesn't have a lot of mana, but he is happy with what he's getting out of the map, and so is the rest of BetBoom Team.
Even Bach wanted to get involved. Black Hole was available, but this is no Drums Enigma, no like Tranquil Boots, so he has Helm, is very slow. Even with Quickened, as his enchantment was not fast enough to get into the fight. Oh, tower gets denied.
All that work, and it just gets denied. This is really good for BetBoom Team. But again, just a 2,000 net worth lead. Like, it is Shiro sticking close in net worth. But once more, the cores not exactly keeping up with the rest. Although Quap is bottom of the cores for the moment. And Batrider, once more, these supports from Tidebound trying to go anywhere on the map to find some farm.
Planet,
I speak his name, and
dies again.
13 minutes
6 and 1.
In, he still doesn't have lasso.
Yeah, so I'm laughing on camera. Things are difficult. They did lose this tier 1 tower in the top lane. They also blocked the camp in the triangle. I think he just needs to play greedy. I think he needs to say, screw it, I'm gonna be stealing one of the waves from whoever and try to get something done. Because Shadow Demon can be annoying for him, so does Bane, but I think he needs to play this type of a game to try to buy as much time as possible. Right now, they can't be taking the fights.
It's about 17% advantage on experience, equal to 4 levels for BetBoom Team. And you could definitely feel that impact on the supports. No lasso available in that fight over in the river. At one point, the Monkey King was 4-0 and 4, and, well, the level 6 for your Batrider could not be found, and it still can't be. This is not the best support game. Inhibit on a Nothing to Say, but he just remnants out.
We've seen the same issue that Monkey King is facing from the mid lane. If he goes Diffusal, he doesn't have that much mana to work with, so needs his supports to have mana boots, and they do. Both of them have mana boots available. Otherwise, you need to constantly bring clarities. You still want to use your abilities on a wave. You want to use that Boundless Strike to make sure that you're not sticking too long in the lane, put yourself in danger.
Now Planet, level 7. Believe getting that shrine. He got his and Save got the other. But that puts him in a spot where they now have lasso, and they're also not too far away from having a Blink Dagger. Like, despite the fact that it took him so long to even get level 6, he's got 3,000 net worth. Like,
their team fight is pretty good. If you connect Fatal Bonds, you have TB focusing down the target, Black Hole, Searing Chains onto 2 targets. You have BKB piercing tools as well. Their team fight is super strong. It's going to be the matter of execution. Right now, it does feel like they need extra round of items. But these heroes are also very good at counter-initiating. We saw that grip in the mid lane that lasted for like half a second. Immediately got disrupted by Warlock's Golem.
They can get that team fight to work for them. Maybe they could bring this one back again. Shiro doing what he does best, and that's staying in the outer rings of the jungle and continuing to farm. He'll try everything in his power to get some time to get into this Manta, and I mean, Manta Falcon Blade, it's fightable from that position for Shiro, but you want more, right?
Once he finishes off Manta, he is going to feel super strong. Gives him good amount of tankiness so that he doesn't get bursted immediately. Might get a Sunder off in a fight. Their lockdown is pretty limited. They need Black Hole to be able to kill Miero.
Alphys Black Hole, they'll commit it. Meanwhile, Fiend's Grip on it, nothing to say. It's long enough to get their own target. They get that, and they will glyph the creeps. That's a little bit rude. But glyph the tier 1 tower is Pure and GPK. They push to try and take one. The kill helped get this Batrider to a Blink Dagger, so the initiation now has the availability of that. Meanwhile, it's now drums for Bach. He's got
look at this.
And he wants
Skelly Bros, Illusions, Eidolons. All gonna get cleared by Pure. That's gonna be his Aghanim Scepter. Needs another 70 gold.
Fighting in that's gonna be pretty rough. What's the build on Bach? He's not gonna be the Blink BKB Black Hole, is he?
Eventually. I mean, there are ways of stopping that Black Hole. Fiend's Grip, you have Save as well with Disruption. He was thinking about getting Pipe. Was thinking about finishing Helm of the Overlord, but I think Helm of the Overlord will die. You now have Monkey King with a good amount of damage. You have Gyrocopter, so I think it's time to skip it and go for something more defensive. It seems like the aura of the choice is going to be Pipe. You are playing against Queen of Pain, Shadow Demon, even Gyrocopter. It deals good amount of magical damage, so might want to try to mitigate that.
GPK almost into the BKB. And nothing to say. Wanting that Sanj has that Blade Mail. He's kind of stabilized. I know he just died, but that was only his 3rd death considering the start. They've found themselves a Bane, and Kathomi will not be able to swipe the Arcane Rune and gives gold over to nothing to say. Any of these pickups that they can get are going to feel pretty good for the side of Team Tidebound with the lead that BetBoom have. Saves coming over with Miero. Shiro's in trouble. Primal Spring and pops that Mantle. Lasso comes through, but the Sonic Wave GPK is going to be saved by Save. The right click
still going to die.
Shiro. Miero gets that kill. Chaotic Offering comes in, but they'll change the guard, and they should still be able to get GPK. Nothing to say looking at Pure, but they hit the Fiend's Grip. That is a problem. They will lose this Ember Spirit.
EP's in, immediately gripped him, knowing that Nothing to Say is going to play super aggressive. Gets another sleep.
It's on Y. Will die. Pure on a mega kill streak. But they do get the Monkey King. They get save. Just cost them a lot. Tidebound, they need to try and clean that up. And I would say if they have if they have Black Hole available in Lasso, Pure might have to be their target.
He's super farmed. I mean, it's very difficult to focus him, seeing that there's double save. One with the Disruption, one with the Nightmare. Might just give him enough. And he's relatively tanky. He did disassemble that Dragonlance. Did buy Aghanim Scepter. Still gonna go back to Dragonlance.
Katomi. Nothing to say looking for this Kaya next, for Kaya Sanj.
We've seen this build being popular on Ember nowadays more compared to Mage Slayer, SNY as well, which did get nerfed multiple times. Status resistance is now only at 15%, so people are playing more of a magic type oriented Ember Spirit with Shiva's Guard, Kaya, having that Blade Mail instead.
They know the timing.
Pure is relatively low on HP, has Healing Salve up and running, does have another one.
Remnant. Oh, the Nightmare, the Blink, the Lasso, they catch GPK again. They only got the Shard, but now the Wukong's command, the Balance Strike, it's going to be on a planet. They hit the Sonic Wave that pushes him into the Wukongs. Miero gets that kill. Batrider gets away for now. Nothing to say is in on a save. Pure, he's here to help though. Save ends up dead. Nothing to say, trying to juke. Bach, he's got Black Hole, and he uses it. Lands it on a 2. They'll look over at Pure. They'll take out GPK, and Tidebound will take a fight with that Black Hole. latching on to two very important cores for BetBoom Team.
Ooh, this was pretty massive. This big black hole is what's actually going to get them into the game. They will get the tower. Miero's trying to creep skip, but still, this is tier 1 tower. They can even go through the backdoor protection. And Ember Spirit getting a good chunk of gold from that fight as well.
And he survives. Hit him with the BBH, and we'll see it again. It all starts with a little bit of a delayed kill on Bane, who ends up getting that shard. They're trying to stay within the heal. They even use this call down, the Sonic Wave, all on to Y.
Y's pretty happy about that one. Using the Sonic Wave, tanking it without having any abilities that he can offer to a fight immediately. And then nothing to say. Getting out of trouble. He could have, like, he actually killed him there. Because he could have only gone for one target with the black hole. They were too spread. There's the grip.
Oh, grip again. And then Ballast Strike. No way to Remnant out. Another Fiend's Grip that leads to a kill. Ember, as much as that last fight went really well for them, he kind of gets hampered by the fact that they lose him again immediately. And why? Why? He just...
I mean, they just died there.
Yeah, Ember literally just died there.
Losing a little bit of focus, I guess. GPK made him chuckle.
He wants GPK's bounty to be worth more. Aegis for Pure, so despite the lost fight top, BetBoom, they still are controlling the objectives. Planet, Force Staff, gets away, Remnant forward. But you're working with an Aegis on Pure, so how willing are you to go in? They hit the lasso Miero with the aggressive blink. They'll call down Balance Strike on to Bach. Wukong's right there with him. And they'll take Bach's life as they dive past the tier 2 tower.
Miero's super tanky. Kaya Sanj, all of these small items, pops the Blade Mail before. This is even pre-level 10 talent that he did pick up, the extra 7 strength. He's super tanky, and knowing that 2 supports can't save him, allow him to replenish the blink cooldown so he can blink out of the trouble, basically acting like the initiator from the offlane, which is usually something that he does play. These Centaurs, these Mars, these type of heroes, Beastmaster, but right now he was forced to play Queen of Pain from the offlane. The early game didn't go too well for him, but is managing to recover. Sitting in the middle of the pack, all 3 cores at the bottom, very close to each other.
24 minutes in, still 3.5 minutes left on this Aegis. Certainly time for BetBoom to reset, get ready, and go once more. But now the Iascadi here for Terrorblade. Still sitting as the most farmed core for his team. Shiro trying to do everything he can, and there will come a point where Terrorblade is going to just take over the fights. They'll find save. Upheaval used and a kill onto the Shadow Demon. It's a nifty amount of gold for Planet. TP over Miero, and they do have GPK in the area. Kathaomi looking for a Fiend's Grip, hits the Nightmare. That gets pulled off by the Warlock. Monkey King gets away with the help of that shard, using the Balance Strike to jump out.
They were still very careful about taking that fight, knowing that there is Golem available, there is Enigma as well. No Blink Dagger yet on Enigma, instead opting to go for another Aura. Crimson Guard, this is going to be a very good one against Gyrocopter, against his Flak Cannon, against Monkey King as well.
If they win another fight, they'll get a big influx of gold, but will it be enough to pull them past BetBoom Team, who are surging, playing this game really well? Their movements have been impeccable. Other than that one fight over by the Tormentor, things have pretty much all gone their way. Little trend towards bottom. There are 4 heroes here. Batrider's actually going to be the one who's caught. They'll use that lasso to maybe buy some time, but the team's actually TPing over to the outpost. The Nightmare was used on the Warlock. They hit the Fiend's Grip on nothing to say.
Alone.
This is Kathaomi doing it all. He's set up for Pure to TP in, and now they get the disruption onto this Terrorblade, and he is gonna die. And that is all set up by this Bane.
Man, Kataomi Bane, Fishman Bane, these players, they really thrive playing these heroes. Has Ether Lens, does have Keen Eye as well, so extra cast range, and that was also with Unleashed, so very nicely done. Level 14 on that Bane, going for Aghanim Scepter. Eventually, you will get that Ags, and it's gonna need to be Warlock pretty much stopping it, using it on the other two illusions. Mira also managed to recover nicely, slowly creeping up, getting closer to Terrorblade's network. Not there yet, but maybe with the next fight, he could be taking over. This is a really mean mid and late game hero.
Definitely. Mean and not the way that Tidebound like. They'll push this tier 2 bottom. I don't really see many victories so far for Tidebound or in their future. I mean, that has been all BetBoom. This Aegis will expire and maybe Tidebound take a fight off that timing, but it doesn't look like that's the direction that they're heading. Right now, they'll use these illusions, they'll throw them on a Pure, and they want to take this bottom tier 3 and maybe even more.
Aegis is gone in 20 seconds.
Can they time it right? 15 seconds. Pure already backing away. And these heroes, they've TP'd out. The Aegis will expire. Gyrocopters back to the triangle. Team Tidebound get left empty-handed as they react to the push over bottom. As BetBoom continue to have smiles and no fear of what's in the future for them in this game.
They know that this game is probably in the bag if they don't make some really massive throws. There could be a black hole, but it's much harder to execute, knowing that Buck doesn't have a Blink Dagger. And also, TB has been struggling, dealing some of the damage. Without a BKB in this one, not gonna be as easy. He's getting kited all of these slows, and also playing into BKB piercing abilities. You get hit by Shadow Demon ulti inside the Wukong's command, Fiend's Grip. Any of these is gonna keep you in place, and doesn't seem like he's getting too much of a help. I think Kataomi did a very good job splitting up some of these fights, finding the openings, finding the pickoffs on the side lanes. And also, his positioning was top tier so far. 2, 3, and 14.
It's good KDA to have. Looking really good, making a lot of plays happen here for the Bane. I mean, this has been MVP-like maneuvers. Yep. Both supports here have really done a lot for BetBoom.
He's really been Bane in the ass so far for the enemy team.
Definitely. Little TP back towards top. And he's just continuing to look for this Axe. He's got a lot of time before he gets that Axe, but at that point, like you said, it'll be all on the Warlock, who can't really survive in these fights anyway, to try and stop that. Maybe next Roche, if that somehow goes Tidebound's way, they could start to push back on this lead from BetBoom Team. And it's tough. There's only so much Shiro can do in this game. And it does feel like another one of those games where it's Shiro against the world.
He was thinking about getting Butterfly. You are playing against Gyro Monkey. This is kind of an item you want to get, but also without a BKB, you can't really deal damage.
Planet wants Ags. He's already bought that point booster, so showing that he wants that Ags.
I mean, the comeback potential definitely is there. If they're sieging the high ground, one rock could try to set things up. Batrider with Aghanim Scepter Lasso. Do not underestimate their high ground defense.
30 minutes in. And Torm will be back soon enough. But BetBoom not forcing any fights recently. They are moving around the map, but they are moving around their side of the map. Planet, he might be the one who ends up getting caught. But he blinks over to the side and is starting to Firefly Force Staff, get some distance between him and GPK, but he can really keep up. Flame Break lands and the chase will be stopped. Good job there by Planet to escape. He really needs to not be really giving up much more than he's already done so in all the deaths that he's had up to this point. Shard for Miero.
He loves this one. It's a pretty expensive shard for Queen of Pain to buy. There's always a better item overall, but getting it for free, relatively short cooldown, 6 seconds. You do have almost 2-second silence, which is pretty nice. Controlling Ember Spirit, you get that in the middle of a fight after the BKB on Terrorblade is down. You could get a kill, even in the back lines, so that the Warlock can get the soup off.
Scan showed that Tidebound was in Roche, but they weren't there. And they've smoked. Tidebound are actually up on the triangle. And the pings are coming through. They start to waste away on this timing, but can they wrap around all the way to maybe catch Tidebound? It's a full-on wrap. But are they going to close up the distance? They've got Planet up on this little island here, and now they've got the call down. GPK goes right on the Planet. He's silenced with that blink in, and Miero, he hasn't killed him quite yet. Thinking about the Supernova. Nightmare, 1 second on that, and they'll find Planet, but Miero jumps in, and the damage coming out from Shiro. The Sonic Wave is used. Can he get a Sunder off? He's got to find somebody, but Shiro's dead already. Y falls, 3 heroes gone. Bach trying to TP out, but Save is in with a disruption. They will lose Miero, but it's worth it for 4 as they really capitalize on that fight.
Shiro's unable to deal damage in the last couple of fights. Like, he just dies, they pop their BKBs, he can't get the Sunder off. Hold damage from Warlock. Shiro still dealing almost the most damage in that one, but there was no Golem, no Black Hole, Lasso has been used, and now maybe it's time to poke the high ground, see what's gonna happen.
Roche is up soon. They'll stick by the pit. If Roche is full-timer, which it's not as it just spawned right now, and they kind of are missing it, they might have these heroes back up to fight, but you won't have meta for another minute. This should just be BetBoom's Aegis.
Why did we make this clock for Roshan complicated? It was good before, and now we have to manually read it.
You used to say... You're laughing already because I feel like you know what I'm going to say that you used to say.
Just spit it out.
But I used to have trouble alone.
I don't. I just get baited by the clock. When I see the number, I'm like, yeah, they should be going for the high ground, and then Roshan is respawning because it's not true. I was being lied to, okay?
Oh, lied to. Okay. Well, I've gotten better at reading the analog clock. But if we could switch it into just saying it's actual time,
would be very helpful.
I'd love that. Thumbs up, please. Because that timer is a lie. 4 minutes to work with this Aegis. Pure super duper farmed. Which is higher than super farmed. It's super duper farmed. 25,000 net worth.
TB needs so many items. He needs MKB to counter this butterfly on Gyro, otherwise he's not dealing damage. But there's also another item on Pure that is countering TB. Revenant's Brooch, dealing bonus magic damage. Considering that he has high armor, this is not something that he wants to play against. And I think with this Aegis, it's time to go for the high ground. Swapping in treads, swapping out treads, and putting in Satanic in. Banner has been planted.
Planet. His courier's coming his way, and he's got this Aghanim Scepter. There is a chance for the double lasso. Who can he find with it, though? Monkey King's waiting in the trees. Is a tree. Haven't really felt this amazing chaotic offering, but the double lasso, the Nightmare is already going to be onto the Queen of Pain. They go to the Black Hole. They've got themselves the disruption. Here comes GPK. They might be able to get the kill on Miero. They will. But Pure, he's got 2 lives to work with.
Shiro's dying
needs
again.
to find a target. Bashed up, and he is dead. They have gone to the back lines. They have found Katomi, but they have a remnant right on top of Pure. No Golem Save still here. 3 heroes will be able to take out the top set of racks.
Oh man, this is one of the few TBs that I've seen not going for Hurricane Pike. A lot of the times he would be able to push himself out of the trouble, reset, maybe get the Manta style, and then get the Sunder off. But I don't know, we've seen one Sunder near the tier 1 tower, and that's about it. He does have buyback available, but no meta, so him being transformation hero, you kind of don't want to be buying out.
Not really. How do you even begin to think about going in? They have lasso in 10. It is a double lasso, but there's nothing really dangerous about it. Slight avoids the balance strike, but it's always the one in the back.
He's ready to jump in.
Can they get the blink into the lasso? Are they looking for it? Bach went forward.
Got clipped by Shadow Poison. Unfortunate for him.
They still haven't taken out this Aegis, and now they're going to be able to back away, and they don't even go for it. Miero's coming back in. They're not completely backing up. They're TPing to the outpost. They want to go again.
Pure, man. He's using this chop shop real nicely. Utilizing it, got rid of that Dragon Lance. Did have Revenant's Brooch. Now he has Daedalus. So he did disassemble that.
Remnant to the middle of the fight. Sonic Wave. Bach is low and on the run. Hit by that homing missile and still alive. Searing Chains once again. But it's not the Aegis gone. They're still looking to continue to get these buildings. Pure is level 24. Terrorblade is back up and has meta. Now it is available, and maybe now they can fight. But again, you gotta, I would say, start with getting this first life out of the hands of Pure if you really want to feel effective.
Ready on him.
Shiro, he already goes to the Metamorphosis, and Pure, he's got the Glimmer Cape. They're not even getting the first life out of his hands.
He wants to lifesteal off of the creep wave. Satanic, not lifestealing much, though.
Oh, Pure. Stunned, still alive. And again, doesn't lose that Aegis. He was close to dying there, but they didn't want to commit. They didn't want to go in too far.
Gyro, when he's so far ahead in this matchup, it does give him insane advantage where he can disassemble his items for free, and then he gets MKB, suddenly you disassemble your butterfly, you upgrade your blink, you get the swift blink instead. So he's losing the value on the items that he's buying. Enigma with the blink dagger now. This is pretty much do or die fight for them. No meta for 60 seconds.
Can just bait people into making full-on purchases. Shiro still isn't bought out on that MKB. There's that Aegis expiring. They are looking for bottom. And again, I wonder if it's better off just going to finish the game. I will say it once it stops happening. The Mega Creep curse is kind of real.
Their heroes are very bad at dealing with Mega Creeps. Enigma, Ember Spirit, TB's okay-ish, nothing too crazy. So they will be having a rough time dealing with Megas.
Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains misses Miero.
Gyrocopter's ready to disassemble his butterfly. There's a blink dagger ready. As soon as he sees that MKB fully purchased, I believe he's gonna disassemble that butterfly.
Some party dust thrown in the base. Buying another set of dust. Dropped his glitter everywhere. Never gonna be able to clean all that up. BetBoom, though, they stick by. They're across the river. They continue to think about making that final move in. So he's disassembled the butterfly.
Yeah, it's coming. It's just the way it is. Staying so far ahead in this matchup, he can do whatever he wants. Already prepped for it.
And terribly committed to that MKB, and immediately it's just like, all right. And there's that Swift Blink. At least Terribly can hit now.
Technically. Haven't seen much. I mean, maybe we could check the damage. I feel like his damage output in this game is going to be pretty low. A lot of that damage does also come from the laning stage. 16,000. Okay, not too bad. I was expecting to see a slightly lower number, but still not good enough to be able to carry the game with this damage numbers.
I was going to say 18, so I felt very close in my mind. But no lead is safe, as we've seen previously. Parrot Cloak, the Zoom Bloodright, and you've got the Magnifying Monocle and the Oblivion Staff. The Zoom Bloodright, great item. I think top tier, and it's for the Bane too. And it
Yeah,
gives
we
him
had some.
Vampiric.
We had some really good neutral items. Even though I did prefer like the older generation.
Repair kit.
No. Wait, let's not get into that territory. I was thinking about more like Ogre Seal Totem, Keen Optic,
Yeah.
Aghanim's Blessing for 6 minutes. Just kidding, that was not fun.
I, for one, am a big repair kit fan. They might stumble upon Pure.
He blinked
Forced
in.
to BKB, and now they've got the disruption, but the lasso, is it going to secure him into the black hole? It will. Pure, though, Satanic, he's dead. He's dead. 100 seconds forces the buyback. The arrow's actually getting a little bit low. They go to the chaotic offering. Kentaomi's going to die here. Boxed up, but they bump back on Gyro.
What
Oh, give it a
fuck
chance.
is this? Like, what are
my
they
God.
doing? He just randomly blinked in. I guess he was not expecting the full team to be there. Even though he gets saved, it's still not enough. Lasso into the black hole. Let's see what they're going to be able to get out of this one.
Lacoste, it's happening again. It is happening again.
Roshan's not respawning for a good, like 2 minutes.
Well, let me double check your math here on the analog clock. It's about a minute. It's going to
Minute and 30 when I said it.
minute 15. Well, Pure giving up 2,000 gold. And then Ketomi's trying to save him. Save's trying to save him. And finally, Asunder. Hands up, finally Asunder.
All right, now they have the opportunity for Roshan to take the fight. Black Hole's not going to be on cooldown immediately when Roshan respawn off cooldown, but
84
if they can
seconds.
stall, that could be pretty big.
GPK, he's got a good amount of farm to work with, but he was not really there to help out. Ember, what's next on his list? A late game BKB. I'm always a big fan of. If you can get to a point where you've got a 9-second BKB this late in, you'll be pretty happy. Pure probably, never mind. I was going to say not going to be blinking into any lanes like this
There's
anytime
no chance
soon,
that they're
but
going to
he
be
did it
there
again.
2 times in a row, and this time team was ready to back him up. Roshan is available now.
Dire are scanning.
Black Hole, 34 seconds. Scan did connect for a second.
So they know that they're in the area, but they know that they don't have Black Hole. They don't have Chaotic Offering. Chaotic Offering 30, Black Hole 24. So if they can at least deter them for 30 seconds, they can have everything up for a chance to win a fight and bring themselves back into the game.
Pure did sell his treads, now does have refreshers, so that's double BKB, double Satanic. He needs it desperately. He knows that he messed up there. Let's see how they approach it. Arrow, scouting things out.
Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, pops that Blade Mail, still going for Roche, bashed by Roche as well. Remnant's gonna be in the pit, Remnant outside the pit. Little hokey pokey. Lasso, Gyro, saved, at least for now. Sonic Wave comes in, they go to the Wukong's command, they get a kill on a planet, they got themselves the Black Hole, but they're taking a lot of damage, and Buck
Shiro's
healed
dead.
off immediately. So is Shiro, and they've all been sat down.
GPK, very nice move. Sitting on the trees, managing to get the really big Wukongs pretty much on everything. That's level 25 Wukong's command. And even if that, with that messed up fight that they did, seems like they don't want to wait it out. They want to force the buybacks. Black Hole is not available. 2 supports with no buyback. Other 2 heroes, they need to use it, and they're going for the finish.
Pure Gonna move in, call down, comes through, buyback from the Enigma, nothing to say. Boundless Strike hits, Abyssal is there, GPK gets the kill into this Ember who has buyback. They start to leave the base.
Seems like they want to get Roche in the end. They don't want to have this. They do not want to give opportunity to Tidebound. Buyback on cooldown still for 4 minutes on Gyrocopter. The safe play is to go in and take it.
Nobody gonna be making a shot in the dark here to try and swipe this. As the buybacks aren't available for really anybody on Tidebound.
Still doesn't have to get rid of any of the items. We'll eat that Aghanim Scepter. Right, Divine Rapier queued up. Still far away from it, but this is the we want to finish the game item.
Terrorblade really needs this Satanic. Still just has Lance. And never got that Hurricane Pike.
That was a really, really late Dragon Lance.
He can't Force Staff out of the circle, now definitely with level 25 and the extra diameter on it. Things will start to come back up. For Tidebound, they'll have Black Hole on 30. As Enigma bought back and only has 500 gold to work with. They're smoked. They're coming through. Don't think they're going to wait for this Divine Rapier. But you never really know if they can't feel confident going up into the high ground in this one attempt. But they've got this Obs here. That'll be taken out. Obs put on the high ground. Pure with the flat cannon. Jumps with the Swift Blink. They've got the banner. Nothing to say. Takes out the Obs. Needs to be a little bit careful. Call down used. Goes into the back line for a second. Goes towards Pure, which is really the front line.
Pure blinking in. Has Satanic ready. We'll pop it.
They're going to need to find a way to really pull somebody
Arrow
into the base.
buying a little bit of time with this Blade Mail blink.
And then the Wukongs should just secure Mega Creeps. Shiro has to get out of the circle. Sonic Wave even committed, and Shiro's sitting here with no health.
That was clean. Getting Mega Creeps like this without committing too much. Refresher. At least Refresher Shard still available, and Refresher Orb coming off cooldown for Pure.
They're still in the area. Just can't really make this jump and go for the lasso. They have the disruption. They have the ability to save these heroes multiple times. Nightmare, disruption, all there. Demonic Cleanse is going to make life a little bit easier.
They should wait out until Monkey has Wukongs ready again. 35 seconds. Mega Creeps just started to leave the base. They're in the river right now.
Pure with 36,000 net worth. The Mega Creeps are hustling. Moving on in. They've gone to the gym, they've gone swole, and now they're ready to go. Swift Blink in, Sleight of Fist Searing Chains, that comes through on a 2. They'll hit them with the Fatal Bonds. The minute 45 still remaining on this Aegis. Kateomi also goes forward looking for a target, but can't find anybody yet. Miero playing very aggressively behind the tier 4 towers, but GPK is ready. They'll just go and put down the Wukongs around these tier 4 towers. They've got Glyph, they'll Sonic Wave, keeping these heroes pushed back. They can't really enter the circle. They'll take one tier 4, they'll look over at the second. Another Remnant forward, no Wukongs at the moment. But he's got that Refresher Shard. The arrow gets caught Sunder Lasso, and that should be a dead Queen of Pain, and will be. Has buyback, but the throne's exposed. They
They're
can
going
do
for
this
the finish.
again.
GPK
They're
has
trying
Refresher
to finish
ready.
it up. Buyback used by this Queen of Pain. We're going to get back in. Is over to the outpost where the BKB goes to the Refresher, and the Wukongs is there again. They need to make a move, but they are stuck in their own fountain.
Their blink daggers are
There's nowhere
canceled.
for them to go.
Shiro almost died.
They've got the Glyph, but can they find an opening? They've got nothing to say. Towards the back, Sleight of Fist, Black Hole used, but the damage is there. BetBoom will eliminate Team Tidebound and move on to the playoffs.
Oh, Dave.